first hear of Juice Plus and why you decided to take Juice Plus?
Well, my parents have been taking Juice Plus for even longer than me, and I had an accident when I shattered my patella, my kneecap, after falling 30 feet. And they've been trying to get me to take Juice Plus for ages, and I was like, yeah, do you know what, I'm good, you know, I don't need that sort of stuff, that's for old people. And, and they turned around and they're like, Tim, do you know what, if you take this, it'll speed up your recovery. And I was on crutches, I'd never been on crutches before, and I thought, okay, I'm in, get me some now, because I wanted to go back to climbing and I wanted to feel healthy again. So yeah, that's how I started.
Great. And the extremity of the sport requires a huge amount of athletic conditioning. Huge amount. Strength, cardiovascular fitness, the ability to deal with stresses and make the life-saving decisions whilst under a amount of stress and fatigue. All right? So please share with us some of the demands of which the sport places on your body and how current nutritional strategies with Juice Plus are so fundamental.
Yeah, climbing has many different aspects to it. You've got mountaineering, which is at high altitude, or you've got bouldering or sport climbing, which is more of a gymnastic maneuver. And I tend to specialise by not specialising in any of them. I do all of them, or try to. And I really find that when it comes to the point where you can't do any more, like maybe you've been climbing for 10 hours or maybe even 20 hours, or you're at high altitude, it's at that point where, usually when your body doesn't work anymore, that most people, they have to stop, or they can't get to the top of the mountain, or they can't get to the top of their climb. And I've been in a number of situations now where I've been with either my climbing partner or I've been with a team of climbers, and we've been climbing for such a long time that everyone is done. They're just done. And I was in Pakistan at 6,000 meters, about to wingsuit fly off Great Trango, which is like the highest wall in the world. And we'd taken us like weeks to get there. And we got to this point where the three people I was with, they were done. You know, they didn't have the energy to be able to go and do it safely. And I was like, I'm ready, man. You know, I want to do this. You know, the conditions are perfect. I feel good, and there's the exit point over there. I want to go, but I didn't have anyone to do it with, and I realised that it was because I had a higher level of nutritional support that allowed me to perform really, really well at that sort of altitude. Because you're carrying so much stuff and it's absolutely exhausting, like getting everything into position to do something like this. And more recently, when I started climbing, I tended to do more adventurous climbs, which didn't really require that much sort of personal physical performance. But as I've got older and become a dad, my time is much less than it was before, and I have to be a lot more strategic about how I can achieve my goals. And I've really focused on the performance aspect, so trying to take my climbing to the next level from a physical aspect. And since then I've thought, well, how can I do that? What can I do to achieve this? And I've really focused on nutrition. I started in Transform 30, which some of you will know about, and I'm 41 and I'm climbing the hardest routes that I've ever climbed in my life. And I look at a lot of my friends that haven't taken Juice Plus and haven't tried Transform 30, and they're kind of staying at the same sort of level. And I think that if I take a professional view on food and embrace what Juice Plus has to offer, it enables me to continue being a professional climber for many, many years, and also help other people to achieve their goals as well. So it's been amazing actually. Really, really, really into it.
And has your mother and father looked at sending you for some advice, counselling, or anything like that?
Well, I think my mum's she's had some challenges with me going away on these trips, but what I figured out is that it's much better to tell her what I've done rather than what I'm about to do. Yeah.
What's next for you? I mean, how can you top off putting on a squirrel suit and jumping off a building?
God, I don't know really. teach my son how to do it. No, just kidding.
Well, he's not quite 5 yet.
Yeah, he's only 2.5. But he does say, "Oh, Dad, I want to fly around the mountains." And we've never shown him a wingsuit film or anything like that. I don't know where he got that from, but yeah, I'm going to Patagonia in a month, and I'm going with a friend of mine, and we've got this huge mission to take loads of gear into base camp, which is about 15 miles. We're going to have to do like 5 shuttle runs to get all our gear in there, and then we're going to try and climb what's been called the hardest unclimbed peak in Patagonia. So we'll see. I think when it really comes down to it, when your body is about to give in, if you do have a high level of nutritional support, that's when you have a chance to be able to keep going, and that's when it really counts.
Absolutely, thank you. And thanks very much for making me feel about my life and how boring I live. Well, that's fantastic. Tim Emmett, guys.